You ask, why did life turn out this way?
Worst thing ever imaginable.
And I jumped in the gang and started running the streets.
For 41 years. I've been locked up since 1979.
That's the less lethal?
Yeah, it's less lethal.
Other hand?
It just nearly killed me. In fact, I wished I could have died.
This is my life.
This is home for you.
106 to control, radio check.
It absolutely is.
I killed my husband, and then here I am.
Don't do drugs, kids, right?
Stay in school.
Well, really, what she said to me was, you need to turn on your TV and see what's going on.
You flipped on the television.
Scott and Terry, police say they have one suspect in custody.
They had a news crew in Henrietta where there had been a murder, and our chief of police said he had never seen anything so gruesome, and it was so brutal, and all kinds of things like that.
The affidavit says Stancifer went to the kitchen to get a drink, noticed 2 knives, and came back stabbing and mutilating his body. Henrietta police say Stancifer called 911.
911, what's your emergency? 101 West Dixie. Yeah. They're on their way. What's the emergency, man? I killed my boyfriend, and now I can't kill myself. What's your name? Samantha. Samantha. Okay, Samantha, they're on their way. Okay, I'll be outside.
I wanted to die so badly in that moment, but I couldn't do it, so I called the police because I knew that I had to pay for what I'd done, and I was more than willing to go. Take me. It's fine. Even now, I wake up and I know I deserve it every day. Because he didn't deserve what happened to him in any capacity. He didn't deserve it. And we'd been drinking. There was a lot of drinking, and there was a lot of pill use on my part. And then I asked him what time it was. He handed me his phone. It's just all these messages from this girl that he works with. That was just it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just, this is the last time. I told him that I was gonna leave, and he's like, no, you're not, because you love me. And just the way he said it to me, laying next to me in the bed that we had shared for years, that I was just like, you're right, you're right. And I just lost it. The knife was right there. It was right there. It was within arm's reach. And he said the last condescending thing he's ever gonna say to me. Head, neck, back, chest, stomach, everywhere. According to the paperwork, 57. And that is the definition of overkill. That is the definition of overkill. And by this point, he's bleeding so much, and I'm just covered in blood. And he started to open his mouth to say something, and I don't know what he was gonna say. I have no idea. But I just know he opened his mouth, and by that point, I had already gotten a hold of his penis, and I just swiped it off, and bam, in his mouth. And I watched him die like that. And I just couldn't believe that I had just done this. I watched this man that I had loved for years take his last breath. And I was just mind blown that I had just done this. Like, who am I? What am I? You don't think that you're that person. You don't think that you're a monster. You don't think that that's inside of you. And then now I know that I am a monster. I killed the man I loved. And I loved him. I loved him so much. I still love him now, and it's so crazy because, like, I'll be going through the motions of my day. Like, I wake up the same way every day. I get ready the same way. I go to work the same way. And, like, there's little things that I'll do throughout the day, and I'll hear his voice in my head telling me that I'm stupid, or that, like, I did that wrong, or what the fuck were you thinking? Sorry. And, like, what are you thinking, Samantha? Why are you doing this? And I can hear him, like, I hear him so crystal clear, and he's still just condescending. But I love it. And, like, when I get those little moments when I can hear his voice, it almost makes me feel better. And it's so crazy, and it's so pathetic.
I mean, it was kind of a love-hate relationship, if you know what I mean. You see, I never knew all this was going on between the two of them.
I think it was a toxic relationship, and he said, yes, I know, sis, you're right. I should have done it a long time ago. So he knew that she wasn't good for him, but he was in love. I think that was his first ever, like, real serious girlfriend. As his sister, I feel like at this point he's not here. The only thing I can do for him is come and make sure she gets what she deserves.
Life in prison. Life without in prison. Because I carry a whole alphabet. I wake up with it every day, and I go to sleep with it every day. LWOP, life without parole. No, my life is not my life in any capacity. Absolutely not. I'm told what to do every single day.
What y'all doing in here?
Oh. Woo.
Now we're locked in?
I can't get out of my room, whether or not, unless they unlock my door.
This is home sweet home. This is my view right here of my spearmint plant and Big Tasty. It's the only thing I get to nurture. And he just lives in my window.
I have a room with a view of a cemetery and razor wire. That's what I look at every day when I wake up, is a cemetery where I'll probably be buried and razor wire.
But when it is time for visitation, I can stand here and I can see my sister pull in, so I know when they're here. So I know when to go start bugging the cops to hurry up and get me in visitation so I can go see my grandma.
The hardest part is leaving her there. I'm so glad to see her when I get there and she comes into the room, you know. But then when we have to leave, she's crying, I'm crying. It's so hard to leave her there. I just want to bring her home with me so bad.
More than anything, it's the smell of home, of my grandmother's house after a thunderstorm. And there's honeysuckle that got drenched in the front yard, and there's jasmine on the wind, and like you can just smell the grass and the farm and like the house itself. It's just the smell of home. I would give anything right now, anything, to just have that smell. Like, even if it was just in a little bottle and I could only open it once a day, that's fine. That's fine, but there's nothing that can describe what that smell means to me and the sense it gives me in my heart. But more than anything, it is the smell of home. Sometimes the smell of prison is not fun. It's not fun at all. It's not. Because even like the grass out here doesn't smell right, because you haven't mixed in with the smell of like 1,400 people. Nothing is worth this. Nothing at all. It doesn't matter if it's selling a joint on the street or killing someone. Like, none of those things, from the most extreme to the less extreme, are worth the pain and the shame you feel. I would say to those women that are in those relationships where they feel like everything is lost and everything is gone, that it's not. It's not. As long as you still have breath in your lungs, that man is not worth it. That woman is not worth it. I don't care how much they make you angry. I don't care how much you hate them. At that moment, taking their life or ruining yours for them is not worth it. It's not, because prison is not a joke. It's not fun. It's not anything that Orange is the New Black can make look glamorized. It's nothing like that. Like, and not only that, but you'll lose so much of yourself the moment you let that person take that from you. You'll lose so much of yourself. But I need those women to understand that whatever they've done to you has made you a better person. I don't care how low you feel. I don't care how hurt you are a better person for going through that and for surviving it. Because at the end of the day, that's what you are. You're a survivor, and you need to get up and you need to walk away. Just go, run, hide, do whatever you have to do.
Talk to someone, because it's no good.
It could shatter a life.
Oh, well, it's ruined mine. It's ruined my life. I don't really look forward to anything anymore. I just get through the day as best I can.
Prison is sort of ready-made for anyone willing to make bad decisions. There's drugs, and there's stagnation, and that's probably the worst thing. There are cliques and gangs, and there is violence.
Home sweet home.
There's victimization, there's brutalization that happens, and it's not pretty. You'll see people with black eyes sometimes. You'll see people who've been, who have stab wounds on them. I mean, there's sexual assaults. There are physical beatings, and there's even deaths that have happened. People have been killed. It's a hard thing to erase. If you commit a bad act that doesn't send you to prison, eventually people forget about that. You grow past it. You were young, you were stupid, but even if you're 40 and you did something at 18 and you're in prison, that thing is what you are known for. And something really bad happened, and it was because of us. I remember where it was, and I remember what happened. The walking into the bank and the shots that were exchanged, and it only lasted 29 seconds. But in that time, I was shot once and my dad was shot 4 times. But his wounds, Mr. Anderson's wounds, were fatal. And when I saw him, he was bleeding very badly, and his arm was hanging loose because it was he couldn't move it.
Both father and son admitted during the trial the robbery was to fund their plot to kill those they felt responsible for the 1993 incident at the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas. Prosecutors say Kenneth Anderson simply got in the way of their mission and paid for it with his life.
Because they felt compelled to avenge Waco, they changed our lives forever.
Chris Lay was led from the courtroom with tears streaming down his face.
He was doing what he should have done. He was doing something heroic, and we were definitely the villains on that day. So there's a tremendous amount of pain, and it's something that obviously you can't reverse that. You can't take it back. There are tremendous regrets, the pain, the loss of opportunity of what life could have been, and also not being able to become what you can be. It's a place in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, where prisons are often built. I would say it's about the size of a bathroom, with the bunk instead of a bathtub. But and it really is that. I mean, there's a toilet and a sink, and it's about the size of a bathroom you'd see in any middle-class home, I guess. It's not the best view. Sorry, this is kind of a mess here. I'm sorry.
How much time do you spend in the cell?
Well, from 9 o'clock in the evening until 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, that's locked down for the night. There are other, much better ways of living life. The harder route is actually better, because when you do something like that, you're taking, and that's what I did. I took. There are many people who don't take. They add They contribute. You're using this really incredible device here to record me, and these things don't exist because people take. They exist because people create.
All felonies.
Is that what you want to be? You know, do you want to be the bringer of chaos? And you don't want to be that. Not sincerely. Not if you really think about it. Ask yourself, is this the only way things can happen? Ask yourself, are these the only friends I should be listening to? Ask yourself, are these friends I should have to begin with? Ask yourself, it's like going to a restaurant. If you look around and everyone's out of shape, you probably shouldn't eat there.
11:03:99.
Stand real still for me. Face me.
Get away. Get away from those people and get away from those ideas. This is definitely one of the end results.
I remember the day, I remember the time. I don't remember the crime itself just because I was so frightened. I was terrified out of my mind of my boyfriend, and he decided that one of his friends had just got to die, and he just made that happen.
The day that I found out my sister was being brought to this courthouse and being charged and indicted for first-degree murder was the worst day of my life.
And if you're with someone that does something, you're going down too. We found that out. I don't want to be here. The last experience we had here was not good.
For 41 years. I've been locked up since 1979. When I was 18 years old, and I'm 59 now. It sneaks up on you slowly. One day you wake up and you're a senior citizen, and when you came into the penitentiary, you were a senior in high school.
The one in the pink shirt is my mother, and the other woman is my sister. She's a year younger than I am. That's the last time I seen him. It was like 6 years ago.
My sister was my best friend. And because of choices that she made, it not only affected her life, it affected my life, my family's life, my children's life, my husband's life. It never ends for us, it never ends for the victims' families. It never ends for the incarcerated families. We all live a little death every day.
You touch the fence and he's coming to see what's going on. He's got a shotgun in there too. Yeah, that's how you see a dog.
That's your view.
That's my view. When I look out the window, that's what I see. That's all you see.
It's really hard without her. You go to bed every night, you think, I wonder what she's doing.
I bought it. It cost me $125. I bought it from the state. It's like 2 inches thick. That's what I sleep on every night. So, and I've had it for like 10 years now.
Does it ever get any better?
No. No. The only time it's going to get better is when she gets to come home and I can see her and touch her.
And you don't know where the time went because every day is the same as it was the day before. You get up when they're told to, you eat when you're told to.
You can still hear how crunchy they are.
You shower when you're told to. My day consists of doing as I'm told, when I'm told, for how long I'm told. The highlight of my day is, am I going to go to the store and buy a bag of chips? That's the highlight of my week. There is nothing glamorous, there's nothing wonderful.
It's kind of loud in here.
This is actually really quiet. So I don't know why you think it's loud. It's really, really quiet. Run and jump. We bought these off Canteen. When I'm on the toilet, if she's not facing the wall, she can actually see me and talk to me.
No privacy.
No privacy whatsoever, but you kind of get used to it. It's just like when you go to visitation, you have to be strip searched after you get done visiting, so you just get naked in front of whoever. You just got to get in that mindset that the body is no longer private. It is almost a public domain in certain instances, and just go with it. It's a lot less traumatic on you than thinking, oh, I can't let somebody see me. You got to let them see you, and you've got to let them see the intimate parts of you, because that's where people like to hide drugs and stuff. So it is what it is. If you want to visit, that's what you got to do.
The hardest part I've ever done was when you go visit her, you have to get up and walk out, and it breaks your heart. We have to go home, and it's just like going to a funeral again. You know, it doesn't get any easier. And I don't know that it ever will.
The best thing I can tell you is run fast, run far, run hard, tell whoever, go to the cops, I don't care who. There is more resources now than there has ever been. You can get away. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't get away, because you can.
Peer pressure can end your life. Make the right decisions in your life. And if you don't know what the right decision is, don't do anything. Find out what's right before you act on it.
There's not a day that goes by that I couldn't roll back to that one night and have any kind of backbone and either stop what was going to happen or be a victim myself. There's not a day I wouldn't give my right fucking arm for that to happen to me. I had to learn to live with that. I was a spineless, worthless piece of trash that let somebody else kill somebody.
I grew up in Northwest Oklahoma City, around 21st and Chartel. 9 years old, 10 years old, I joined the gang. Yeah, I was from Rolling 60s, a neighborhood crip. You know, feel accepted, you know what I mean? And started running the streets and doing things that I wouldn't be doing if I would have, you know, chose a different path. The first time I came to prison was for robbery, robbery 1. I was 17 going on 18 years old.
And that's dues paid. That's all the years I did before. When I should have learned my lesson the first time, you know. Then I got the gang on my back arms. And then that's my West Side hands. God bless the West, where I grew up at. It says standing tall, on the bottom says through it all.
Once you jump into a gang, once you become from a gang, you're official. You know, it's, I mean, basically, you know, blood in, blood out. But I mean, to me, gang banging is a modern day genocide. That's what it is to me. It's just, you know, people killing each other for reasons that they don't even know. They used to call me Shooter Man. These days I go by knowledge. Yeah, but that's my turf name, Shooter Man. It was a lot of shootings and a lot of, you know, fighting and, you know, a lot of who had the most numbers and who had the, you know, send the best rep. Chose to start using drugs and advance in my drug use, you know, I truly believe that marijuana is the gateway. It really is the gateway. I started with marijuana, you know, advanced from marijuana to PCP, you know, harder drugs, methamphetamines, cocaine, that allowed me to think that was the right way to live. It was an illusion, a deception from the beginning. It's something I can't deny, and it's something I won't deny because it's a part of my history. It was a part of something I had to go through in order to grow and understand that it's more to life than just, you know, gangs and sex, money, drugs, violence, and all that comes with it. Yeah, everything's gone. You know, I probably have 2 homeboys from my hood that still, you know, will write me, send me pictures. To me, it's never safe in here. To me, you always need to stay on point, pay attention, because it's like a world full of vultures, you know. This right here is where I had a one-on-one knife fight over here at this yard. That's the worst one right there, where I deflected.
These are all stab wounds?
Yeah. With the blade. He had a blade.
And shot? How do you survive a gunshot wound to the head?
Because it wasn't my time. It wasn't my time, and everybody knows it wasn't my time, and everybody knows I'll be back, and I'm gonna come back stronger, I'm gonna come back better. I believe God's favor is on me, you know. and I'm really trying to find my purpose. Everyone has their own journey in life, but we just have to figure out what is our purpose in life. I just want to help the youth and people that's been through foster care and Oklahoma Juvenile Affairs, the system, like I have. I just want to help people bring their families back together and, you know, be something like a mentor and some kind of positive influence within my community out there in the world, you know, and go back to the schools and let them see that this is real. This is not a game, not at all. This is not a game at all. This is real life. You can lose your life in here any day. Yeah, this is home for now, not officially. We're gonna make it to the right place. Yeah, this is where I live. This is my bunk, rack, whatever you want to call it. This is a homemade pillow right here, made out of cotton coming from a jacket. And this gets rough. This goes flat after about 6 months. No fluffiness. My 8-inch fan. My 8-inch fan to blow on my body during the summer because there is no air conditioning. Don't let these vents fool you. There is no air conditioning. No good. This right here is called the curtain. This is the window. This is what you see out here when you look out here. You see everybody moving around, you know, have to pay attention to that. This is the bean hole. This is how they feed you. Boom. When we're locked down, somebody got killed, stabbings, you know, gang wars going on. This is how you get fed. We eat a lot of beans and rice, bologna, chicken patties, you know, a lot of patties with meat that is not good for your colon. This is the toilet right here. This is the toilet. This is my spray bottle. Here he is. This is my curtain. Call it a jigger curtain. So you can't see me. So I can use the restroom in private when we're on that lockdown, going through it together, like hair in a comb. That's one of the mirrors. Yeah, that's one of the mirrors, you know, to check out the hair and the facial, you know. Hey, how you doing? This is his locker, this is my locker. You gotta get along with him, because if you don't get along, you know, something could go down in this cell. And it's all, you see all this stuff right here, this can be used to hit you in the head and over the head. That's why I say take it serious, you know, and understand what you're looking at. If you're throwing rocks at the penitentiary by out there living a fast life, thinking that living on the streets, you know what I'm saying, searching for drugs, sex, money, and being violent towards people, then this is where you headed. Look out that window right there. There's no way out. This is what you see every day with the perimeter going around, looking, watching you. My intentions, you know, telling you about the gang I'm from and what my nickname was, is not to glorify my actions, but I'm doing this in hopes of deterring people from making the choices that me and so many others have chosen. It's no other way around. It either leads to prison or death. And I'm just thankful, thank God that I'm not dead, you know, and I have another opportunity to make a difference by sharing my story and letting you know that it's not the route to take. I encourage you to make the best decisions possible, you know, because if you don't, this is life on the inside.